Believe it or not, there are better ways to find high ticket sales jobs other than spamming copy and paste DMs on Instagram. As someone who's closed for Alex Hormozi, closed for Iman Ghazi, plus helped dozens of people find sales gigs in the past year, I know there are far more effective ways to finding these jobs. After hearing the methods I share in this video, you will be asking yourself, why didn't I think of these methods before? And this won't just cover how to find the business owners, but also how to properly reach out to them. And if you just implement one of these strategies, I guarantee you will find a sales role within the next 2 weeks. Now, before we start applying to these roles, we must first create a list of different businesses that we should apply to. And honestly, there are a ton of places where you could find these business owners to sell for, but I'm just gonna share my favorite 2 right now, just to simplify everything. Now, strategy number 1, Facebook ad library. The top dogs in the industry are spending a ton of money daily on ads. Let's say, for example, I want to work for a fitness offer. I would search up facebook.com/ads/library and add in the filter section, fitness coaching. Within 30 seconds, I will have a list of 20 companies that are spending money on ads to scale their business. Now, add those companies to your list. You guys, very few people are tapping into this method. It's really as simple as going to the ad library and searching the niche that you're interested in selling in. And yes, you could search fitness mentorship, fitness coaching, Airbnb coaching, real estate mentorship. If there is a niche, there is somebody with a business selling something for it. Now take those companies and once again, add them to your list. And in most cases, these companies in Facebook ad library are making so much money and spending so much money that if you go on their website, there's a page to go and apply as a sales rep. So make sure you dig a little bit. Now, before we continue, you do need to keep track of all the businesses you find, plus the businesses you apply to. Reason being, if you're just throwing darts at the wall and hoping something will stick, you will lose opportunities. There are a lot of sales roles that are literally life-changing opportunities. So to make it easier for you, I'm gonna add a downloadable file somewhere in the description. It will be free, there's no paywall, just so that you could track all these businesses that you find that you plan on applying to, make it easier for you. Now, strategy number 2, find the top performing groups on School. School is Alex Hormozi's company. You may have heard of it. Ideally, what you could do is use the Discover community section in School to find paid groups that offer a high ticket product or service. And here's a side note, you guys, make sure you pay attention whether the group says paid or free. You don't want to go contact and waste your time contacting the free groups. Let's look for the paid ones only. And the groups that say a low ticket price, like maybe $20 a month, it's really a 50-50 shot. If they have a high ticket offer, it's still worth reaching out to them, but just keep that in mind. What you can do is cross-reference those low ticket groups with Instagram just to see if they have some type of offer or funnel or they're selling something that's more expensive. Remember, high ticket means the product is at least $2,000. For me, one of the best ways that I find out if a low ticket group on School actually has a high ticket offer is by looking at their Instagram, seeing if they have a link that leads to a landing page, and if there's an area on that landing page where they could book a call, meaning a prospect who's interested in what they're selling, that always means that there's a sales rep on the other side of that call that's taking payment, closing the deal, and making a lot of money from the offer. And now that you have your list of businesses to apply to, it's time to talk about how the hell do I apply? Outreach, building your resume, and applying on their website. So for your resume, it really takes less than 30 minutes to create one, and I just use some type of free resume builder online. I mean, all you gotta do is Google free resume builder and something will pop up for you. It does improve your chances with getting hired, and if you apply to a really big company like Gym Launch, they will ask for a resume. So what I'm gonna do for you is show you the exact resume that I use to get hired to Gym Launch with 0 sales experience. That way you could just copy me, but reiterate it to the best of your ability. All right, you guys, so here is the exact resume that got me hired to Gym Launch. Well, it didn't get me hired, but it got me brought on to the interview. And that is the goal with applying to companies, is just get to the first step, which is bring me on for a damn interview. So as you can see, there's a couple things here. Obviously my name, I blurred out my address, my phone number, and my email, so you guys don't come looking for me. But here's my professional summary is the first thing at the top. And then I have a couple skills that I understand and learned, and then my work history. Now, one thing I'll say, you guys, is when I got hired at Gym Launch, I literally had pretty much much zero sales experience. So what I did was took my prior work history and just compared it to how it relates to sales. So for example, I worked in a restaurant as a server and a bartender, and I could have added as one of my bullet points, I clean tables and wash dishes. But instead, I added things like I learned essential salesman skills such as public speaking and customer care. Or I became versed in upselling techniques, which increased my overall sales per customer. And here's a news flash, they liked that a ton. I remember the sales manager on the meeting was like, hey, Alex, I actually liked how, you didn't have a ton of sales history, but what you did was took what you have done and compared it to how it relates to sales. I also added internet sales. This was a e-commerce business that I kind of attempted. I did it for 2 years and did decently well. I took the bullet points for this as well and just directed it to how it relates to sales and working from home. And this one at the top was a door-to-door sales role that I had. That really wasn't the best experience. I did it for like 2 weeks. I did extend the history a little bit because I thought that they were gonna ask me all about this door-to-door sales role that I had, and they didn't. The only thing they asked me about was my internet sales company, e-commerce, and then also my serving and bartending. Now at the bottom, I added a little conclusion and then also education that I did as well. And once again, you guys, I just used a free resume builder website for this. I didn't create this on my own. It took me like 20 minutes. And on top of that, this is my most current resume. I made this probably like 8 months ago and it is a little bit sexier. So I will give you the downloadable template to both of these in the description below. Once again, this won't be something you have to pay for. I'll just add it for free and you guys could download. Now that we covered the resume, let's talk about outreach. So I always recommend when you apply to a company, let's say you applied through their website, search that company up on LinkedIn. And once you do that, you will get a list on LinkedIn of different people who are working for that company. On top of that, it'll also tell you the different roles that they have in the company. Let's find the sales manager. Let's find closers, setters on the team and shoot them a DM on Instagram. And here's the exact script that you could use when you send them a DM. Hey, sales manager name. I just applied to X company and I'm super excited to hear back from you and see what next steps look like. That is it, but you do want to cover all of your angles. So once again, any company that you apply to, let's say through their website, search that company up on LinkedIn, get the list of different people who are working for that company and send the people in charge of sales a quick DM. Now, let's talk about a separate form of outreach. How do we contact companies that we want to work for, but they don't have an application page on their website? AKA, how the hell do I do cold outreach? Now, let me tell you guys a story. So you guys are obviously watching this video and recently I've probably received 30 to 40 DMs of different people who are asking to video edit for me, write me scripts, help me with YouTube, help me with content and so forth. And they all say the same thing. Hey Alex, my name is such and such and I could help you with XYZ. Send me a DM and we could hop on a call. Basically they're saying, hey, I have something to sell you, which is cool and I respect that, but it doesn't create any urgency for me to respond. Now, out of those 20 or 30 DMs I received, there was one guy who sent me something different. What he told me was, hey Alex, I created this document for you of 15 different YouTube titles that you could use for your next video. If you like them, go ahead and use them and let me know what you think. I remember I thought to myself, hell yeah, that's cool and that's actually helpful. And I intuitively responded right away. I didn't even think about it. I ended up jumping with this guy on a call and having an hour-long conversation about YouTube. And after that, I was thinking backwards to how the hell could a sales rep contact a business via cold DM outreach to land a job? When you think about it, everybody is probably saying the same shit, you guys. Hey, my name is Alex. I'm a setter. I could help you sell things for your company. Let me know if you guys are hiring. And that's just not going to work. So luckily for you, I created 2 different methods that you could use for doing cold DM outreach to land a sales role. Now, method number 1 is the work for free method. What you are gonna do is send a DM to whatever company or influencer you wanna work for and say this, hey Alex, I love what you do and I've heard great things about your company and wanted to let you know that I would love to come into your company and work for free by setting all of your old leads that you have in your pipeline. Now, hear me out, you guys. No company will have you work for free, but even myself, who has been a sales manager before, would see that DM and say, I like that. This guy seems hungry, he seems motivated, and it seems seems like he's serious about what he wants to do. Let's bring him on for an interview. Smart, right? Now, method number 2 is even more untapped. It just takes a little bit more time. Now, hear me out, you guys, because at the end of the day, if you land a 10 out of 10 sales role, like going to Gym Launch or going to Iman's team, this is something that will change your life. So what you are going to do is find an online coach or an online business, an online mentorship that has something in their bio like DM me help to get started. What you are going to do is send a DM to the person saying that keyword. From there, they will start a conversation with you in the DMs to try and book you onto a call. That way they could sell you into their business. Now, usually what they'll do is send you a booking link. Take that booking link and save it in your notes. Now, what I want you to do is go through the influencer or online business's Instagram following and followers and start doing some cold outreach. Think back to the conversation that they had with you when you DM'd them help and replicate that to try and set people for a call. Once you get 2 or 3 people to book a call for that influencer, send them another DM and let them know, hey, I just booked 3 calls for you. Here are their names. Let me know how the calls go. If you do that, they will bring you on the team. Why the hell wouldn't they? You just made the money. Now, once again, yes, it may take a couple extra minutes, maybe a day or 2 to get those 2 or 3 sets, but it'll be worth it in the end. Now that we've covered outreach, let's talk about the interview process. You guys, I've had a lot of conversations with sales managers and sales recruiters alike. One thing they told me is that the biggest downside of people going on to interviews is that because they think it's a remote job where they work from home, they could just show up in their bed looking like a mess. When you show up to an interview via Zoom, be professional. Get a haircut. Put a nice little polo on. That doesn't mean you have to wear a tuxedo or a crazy suit, but you guys, don't look disheveled like you just woke up from a nap. And when it comes to your background, a lot of people think that you need some crazy ass background to do well in sales, like, I don't know, something like this, but you really don't. I collected my first $1 million in sales while working out of my parents' garage in front of a blank wall. And I'll even show a picture so you guys could see. So for your interview, you have 2 options. Either one, if you have some type of decent background, like sitting outside in a backyard with good scenery behind you, or even a decent looking living room, you could totally use that. If you don't, if you were someone like me who didn't really have shit, just sit in front of a blank wall with good lighting. Reason being, if you have a messy or ugly background, they will judge that. But if you don't have any background at all, the only thing they could judge is you and how you speak on the call. Now, you guys, the way you want to act on an interview is to be yourself, but on top of that, be professional and show how hungry you are to do well for the company. If you don't have any experience with sales, that's okay. You don't need them to buy into your sales experience. You need them to buy into you. You need the sales manager to trust that you are someone who will work hard and someone who is coachable. I remember on my Gym Launch interview, I told the sales manager, hey man, listen, I don't have much sales experience. I'll be upfront with you, but I promise you, I will be the hardest working person on the team, and I will learn faster than anybody else that you've brought on the team. He believed in me and he gave me the shot. Likability and authenticity plays a huge part in you landing any job you're looking for, or even building relationships. When I got hired to Iman's team, the biggest key to me getting hired wasn't my past sales experience. I do think it helped, but it was me hitting it off with the CEO of his company, Paul Daly. He bought into me as a person, as a father, as someone who wanted to do well in life. Now, let's cut the sob story. You guys, one of the biggest keys to doing well in an interview is to ask really good questions at the end of the interview. Okay, let's say an interview is 30 minutes. The first 20 minutes will be the sales manager asking you questions. The last 10 minutes, they will say, hey Alex, I don't have any other questions. Is there anything top of mind for you? You want to ask them good questions. If you ask good questions, the sales manager will know that you know your shit. There is 3 goals with asking good questions. Number 1 is to show the sales manager that you know what you're talking about. And number 2 is to hold frame on top of them, to show yourself as an authority figure in the space. And lastly, I don't think there's a third point, you guys. I was trying to come up with 3, but there's only 2. There is 3 goals with asking good questions on the interview. Number 1 is to find out if a company is a good fit for you. Number 2 is to show your expertise in the field. And number 3 is to come from a place of abundance and not neediness. You do not need this job. You are there to see if the role is a good fit for you. So if you want me to make a video on what questions to ask on an interview, put a comment in the description and I could get that done for you guys. So to make the most out of this video and what you just learned, I need you to promise me something, that you are going to commit to 10 to 20 outreach messages per day, and on top of that, to 3 to 5 application submissions per day. This is the bare minimum of what you want to do to land a sales role within 14 days. All these strategies work. I've seen them work for me, and I've seen them work for dozens of people that I have helped find good sales roles. With that being said, if you are someone that needs some accountability and maybe needs help finding a sales role or even improving with the sales role you have, I am bringing on a couple people that I'm going to help get to $10,000 per month with sales like I've done for dozens of people. You could look at the link in the description. If not, that's okay. I'm going to drop more videos with free value for you guys. Other than that, thank you for watching. I hope this helps, and peace out.